Hi, welcome to another session by Vyom called Revealed, where we discuss and break down things that are happening in the robotics and deep tech space. Today, we'll be talking about drone swarms. So, my first question is to you, Shivas. We've been seeing how hundreds of drones are being controlled and being used in light shows. So, can you tell us how does that work?
Today, what is happening is that people have created a system where essentially there's one remote, which is talking to all these hundreds and even sometimes thousands of different drones. And these drones typically fly in sync with one another. For example, you can ask drones to take off by 1 meter, and all the 100 drones will take off to 100 meters, and so on. Uh, and in light shows, when you see a lot of fancy patterns being made and a lot of motion happening, there's actually mostly no motion at all. Those drones are kept as a grid in the sky, and it's the light which is being controlled. So sometimes one drone switches off, the other switches on, so it seems like there is motion.
So, we've heard you talk about the present scenario. So, Aditya, can you tell us how is the future landscape going to look like?
The way to look at swarms is on a spectrum of technological capability. So what we have today, as Kshitij mentioned, is hundreds of drones being controlled through one ground control station. A lot of them are actually relatively more stationary. The more advanced light shows there is a lot of movement, and it's not an easy thing to do to make sure that you whatever flight plans that you have created are not intersecting with each other. So that's not trivial. But to be fair, that's not super difficult. What is happening is essentially there's one ground control station and remote control of whatever kind that is controlling these hundreds of drones. All 100 of these drones are talking to one ground control station. The next step in the evolution of swarms and technology is when drone or a node that is much farther away and cannot directly communicate with that ground control station is still able to do it. That happens through something like mesh networking. There are great companies like Brinc drones that actually do this, where a node that doesn't have direct line of sight or even a communication channel is able to pass on the data it is collecting through an intervening node, which acts as a node in this mesh network. The third level in this spectrum is when there is even no orchestrator. There is no ground control station. You have, let's say, 10, 20 drones. They are able to talk to each other without a central orchestrator, able to share their maps and their perception of the world, and able to complete their mission in sync with each other. The final step, and that is probably a much smaller step compared to this last step, is when you actually have heterogeneous drones. So you could have mules or robot dogs on the ground coordinating with the swarms in the air, and all of this fleet is trying to do that mission together, again, without any central coordinator.
Thank you. That was really insightful. See you in another session of Revealed.